Um, Good evening, my YouTube channel. So I arrived back tonight at my home, and this is just to demonstrate how anti-Semitic local people are in the Czech Republic. I have this installation on the platform, just commemorating, or not commemorating, but acknowledging the Holocaust and the implications of it on Europe, and I arrived back today, and this one here on the right hand side was just ripped off and on the ground, and it's got art. So, you know, and there were two cars waiting out the front of the house when it happened. So, you know, you can see that the anti-Semitism hasn't really died off. You know, people in this town, they're scared because, you know, a lot of the property around here was owned by Jews. The town was actually founded by Jewish industrialists, and none of that history is really that well acknowledged. And so I put up the installation just because I thought it was good to commemorate, but you can see that the fear in locals to do things like this, you know, to rip one of the panels off the wall. And from my point of view, the more that locals show themselves to behave in this type of way, the more I kind of say to myself, well, the installation should stay here indefinitely. You know, I mean, it's a very sad situation, and I guess for me, just arriving home and having, you know, two cars, as soon as I park, they speed off, you know, like I'm in a James Bond movie or something like that, which you know, unfortunately I don't have any of those credentials. And I arrive here to find it ripped off, and you can see that it wasn't the wind that ripped it off. You know, it was ripped out of the thing there. So, you know, it's like, you know, the old hotel next door that has a Roma community living in it, they put a bore in there, and they didn't put any water treatment plant, so the water's going straight into the Prague-Pilsen highway. And so I made some complaints about it, and then you realise that it went back to a Catholic family post-restitution. And so, and one of the interesting things is that in 2012, the Czech Republic gave all of the lands that it confiscated in the First Republic back to the Catholic Church. And I think when they did that, they kind of gave the green light to the Sicilian mafia to kind of say, hey, we might as well go in there, you know, we can find a bit of value, you know, doing that. Or maybe I'm wrong anyway, just a theory. But you know, it's kind of you know, these things are just going to go on and on. You know, you can't, I mean, you know, I can't fight anti-Semitism, but you know, I can just say, hey, I'm not scared of it, not yet. You know, I mean, if I had a family and wife and children, then of course you would be totally horrified. But if it's, you know, it's just me here, so you know, there's not really that much they can do. I mean, I guess they can take me out, but then that'd be a bigger problem for them if they did, I guess, or maybe not. Anyway, so I'm just going to drill it back on. But I mean, it is shocking, isn't it, that people bother doing this stuff? And obviously the camera's up there, and the camera's even been moved as well. So, you know, there's really, ultimately, there's no security system that can keep people out. So, you know, just trying to build more intense security systems just becomes a bit stupid. I mean, you know, if people want to come into your house and steal stuff, you know, there's not really that much you can do about it in a post-Soviet country. I mean, the whole, and especially when the current Prime Minister was a former agent. You know, and I'm sure he's got good reason too for a lot of these things staying secret, and I wouldn't like to go into any details about that, because that could be a bit embarrassing for him. Anyway, I'll just leave leave this and upload it to my YouTube channel, and the guys, hopefully the guys that ripped off the sign, they can watch it. Maybe we can have a cup of tea one day. Okay.